As apparently public enemy number one out in College Station, I do have to ask you, Aggies, you doing okay? Like, is everything going all right now down in College Station? Because let's be real, it can't get much lower than what it is right now. Welcome on into the Overtime Drive. As always, he's Dave Shumate and I'm Cole Thompson. As we always do on Thursday, it's a mailbag episode. Get your questions, get your comments. Go ahead and cut the line. That way you get to join on in because we are jam-packed with everything that you're looking for. And we want to make sure that this show, especially on Thursday nights, is made for you. Real quickly, make sure you like the video, hit the ring notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel because we talk college football and college athletics every single day. Download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Follow us on the socials, link in the description. Follow Dave at Dave Shumate SEC, me at Mr. Cole Thompson, and check out all of our great work found at secunfiltered.com. And as always, this show is brought to you by our friends right on over at FANDUEL. Go visit FANDUEL.com and join in on the action today as the tournament, the Final Four, is quickly upon us, 48 hours away until we have tip-off between Auburn and Florida, Duke and Houston. Whoever you want to go ahead and bet on, make sure you do so at FanDuel. And when you make that bet, if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Sign up today at FanDuel.com/SECU. What's not to love? Schuster, how the hell you doing, buddy?
Bear, Thursday. That means it's almost Friday. That means we're to a sports weekend. Again, we already have a sports weekend. LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Kentucky tonight for baseball fans out there. But no, Bear, fired up to chop it up with you. I feel like I haven't even seen the questions today, so I'm fired up. I'm on the fire today, rapid fire, ready to answer them cold turkey. And then we got some good SEC to go around the SEC to talk about. Bear, how is it in the ATX today?
I'm not an ATX. What do you mean am I an ATX?
Well, HTX, sorry. I was like, it was weird there, Bear. I was envisioning Houston, like literally in RG. Yeah. I was driving past it, and I said ATX for some reason.
Why does that always happen? Like, I've noticed that recently. Like, when your brain wants to wire differently, like, I'm always thinking about other towns, and I'm actually thinking about another town. Like, for
maybe
some reason,
you got me. I don't know.
Like, I always get Phoenix and Scottsdale mixed up, and I'm like, oh, that's Phoenix. No, it's not Scottsdale. I don't know. It's something about just certain towns and cities that I don't know. All right. As always, if you have a question that you didn't get into the mailbag, it's okay. Go ahead and put it in the comment section. We will answer it live on air without any preparation. I mean, Dave's not prepared for this. I am because I found and got all the questions lined on up. But still, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. That way you're able to keep up with everything that we're doing, and we'll answer it for you. That way you don't miss out on a single bit of the action. But as always, we begin every single show with Around the SEC, getting you caught up on what's going on in the conference that just means more. Dave, what do you got on the docket?
Bear, we're going to your home state, baby, the Lone Star State. Get the Bach out. We're going to San Antonio. We're going to the Alamo Dome. Final Four. Arguably, I think most anticipated, potentially of my lifetime, best Final Four. Again, I feel like we always say this, and then like the games don't live up to it. But I think even Barry, you would agree. Like you can grade them a little differently. Like the anticipation going in, all number one seeds. I think you could make a legit case, and someone may have a different opinion, but I don't think they could totally disagree with you to make a case for all four of these teams winning a national title. That's usually not the case to win the whole thing. Think about it, Bear. The overall number one seed has the lowest odds to win the damn thing right now.
Let me ask you out of curiosity.
Auburn is plus 550.
If you could rank them, who do you think in order has the best chance to win?
I did my ceiling floor the other night of all four teams. To win it?
Win it.
Man, dude, I feel like if I was like a series, I would go Duke 1, Florida 2, Houston 3. Auburn 3, Houston 4.
So you would go Houston 4 in a series?
In a series. But I'm picking Auburn to beat Florida tomorrow in one game. I feel like it is. I think Auburn's going to play well on Saturday evening and get the win against Florida. Now, again, I think Florida's the overall better team. I'm just saying on Saturday, I think they're going to be locked in. So I have Auburn winning that game. Chris has Florida winning it from our predictions. But no, Barry, the other game. Wait, Barry, who do you have?
Florida. I have Florida winning the national championship.
Yeah, I can't even like I just literally said, like, you can't even be like, really? It's more like, yeah, dude, I don't blame you. Like, I can see a million reasons why I'd pick Florida. You should pick Florida. I'm just like, dude, it just feels like Auburn's got to be a big Tahad Pettiford game. And granted, they got to keep Walter Clayton in check. But no, all four of these teams. I think it's Duke, Houston, Kelvin Sampson, the boys versus the young buck. mean, Shire's only 37 years old. I mean, Bear, who you got in that one? You go in the hometown team?
I don't know, because of like in my bracket, I picked Houston to get upset by Tennessee, but then I'm also kind of pulling for Houston, but I also have Duke in the national championship, which would do wonders for our March Madness bracket, even though like I'm not going to win the damn thing. So it's like, I don't really know which way I want to go because I thought Tennessee was going to pull off the upsets.
I think they win it all, so I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. David Speaks comes in with some breaking news. Mike Keefe's is going to be color analyst will be Ramon Foster. The sideline reporter will be Jason Swain, and longtime spotter will be Vols Quest Brent Hubbs. Congratulations! I'm going to say something from an NFL perspective, and it kind of bums me out only because of I live in Texas and I cover the Texans, and my entire livelihood is based in Houston. Mike Keefe is one of the best broadcasters in all of the NFL, and it's a shame that he is no longer there, but it is a blessing that he is now in Knoxville. He has waited for this moment for decades, and I'm so happy for him. If he ever gets to watch this, I hope he knows that I'm a huge fan. I loved his work with the Titans for over a decade. I'm very excited to see what he provides. And Ramon Foster's awesome. Like, if you actually listen to the way that he talks on radio, he is going to be such a good fit. David Speaks, thanks for the news. I really appreciate it. And now I'm going to listen to Vols Radio more. And also do Brent Hubbs. Congratulations on being a longtime spotter once again. That's a massive honor. What else we got on the docket, Dave?
Yeah, it is wild. We're having a lot of turnover. All these guys are kind of reaching age now.
Well, you're reaching an age where it's like, I want to play golf and then not do shit. Like, that's what it is. And I don't blame them.
You just have these new guys coming in, which I think is cool. It's a new era. A lot of, you even go back to Eli Gold leaving. So, no, you're right. Big time. I miss Jim Hawthorne, too, at LSU.
He's been gone for what now?
Yeah, he's been, 5 years, 6,
5
7?
or 6, something like that.
It's probably, guarantee you, if I looked it up, I'd be longer than I thought. And that's terrible.
Sadly,
title, Auburn, Houston.
That's your national title pick.
You know what? I'm Auburn, Duke. Duke. I picked
say.
Houston, so I'll cheer for Houston so I can win my bracket.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, I'm cheering for Houston because I got the H on my shirt. I'm representing my city. I work in sports talk radio in Houston. So it's like, that to me is where my brain is, but also it's like, part of me wants Duke simply because of I want to finish better than you and Chris and Harrison.
Get that Rudy Tomajanovich shirt on there, Bear.
Wait, what?
I said brother Houston, the Rockets coach, old Rudy Tomajanovich.
No, it's a Texan shirt that they gave us at training camp, and it's like that was the only
Rocket shirt.
That was like the only clean thing I had in my closet today because I've been working.
Are you not a Rockets guy at all?
I pay attention to it, but it's like, yeah, I have to for work. But again, it's one of those things where I'm absolutely going to root for them to go on a run. But if you told me right now, do I get to pick the field or the Rockets to cut down the nets in the championship? I'm taking the field. I am. I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a great one, if I can put it that way. Like, they're still a piece away. Ime's got them in the right field. That I will say. What else we got around the SEC?
Around the SEC, Kirby Smart. Let me bring it up on the old phone in my notes.
Are we gonna do the whole thing about tampering with this man?
We are.
With this man of all people? With this man of all people?
There's 2 paragraphs. Let it load real fast. Here it is. All right. So the context, before I get into it, folks, he's kind of just talking about the whole transfer portal, how it is in general. And I wanted to bring up his first paragraph. Quote, I think everybody's got to take a deep pause right now, say deep breath, because what's going on in basketball is crazy. He is right. Basketball is operating not even knowing how many scholarships they're going to have going into next year. We don't know everything that's going to come out April 7th, which might be April 7th, might be the settlement date where we get a lot more information, but everybody's on pins and needles because we don't know exactly what's going to come out with this. Continuing, what do I know is we're going to continue to recruit people who love football and passionate about football and don't put money as the number one answer. Like, I've never met a really good player. That's all he cares about is the money. The 105 number, the NIL number, what's the cap number, what is this going to be? Then he says the bigger context picture here. There's stuff going on right now, guys, in college football. There's people reaching out to have Zoom call and present all the players they represent on all teams. And they want to invite people to Zoom so they can watch and see who's going in the portal or shopping who's in the portal before the portal. Do you want to get on a Zoom and look at all these players? What if some of them are mine? End of quote.
We don't know. I mean, we don't. Again, I am still a proponent of there's one transfer portal period. You lock yourself in. Afterwards, you're done. We don't have to worry about after spring practice, or we worry about it after spring to transfer into the school for summer. Whatever it is, there's one spring portal period. I'm not saying it's going to solve everything, What I am going to say is it will alleviate a lot of issues. It will also be able to temper what are going to be the tampering periods. And also for any team that is major like Alabama, like Georgia, like LSU, like Texas, like USC, like Michigan, like Ohio State, they're the ones that are stealing the lower tier talent, and the talent that's currently on the roster that is there that is leaving is usually players that aren't going to be starting or seeing ample reps this year or seeing continued growth. They're going to be now guys that are just depth pieces. So it's like, I don't entirely get behind any of that right now. I just don't, Dave.
Yeah, I think there should just be one overall portal window.
There should.
It's got to be December. It's the only time until we want to call them professionals, because you got to factor in a mid-year school semester. And I don't think you want them sitting around for a whole spring till a one at the end of May. I mean, you don't want the guys that are leaving to be around your team for another 6 months. Yeah, I think you got to go that. And I mean, this is kind of the obvious, but I think until college football goes and separates from the NCAA and goes back to the one-time transfer, it just can't be the unlimited transfer. That's just where it's too far out of the bottle there. But no, I mean, he's right. That stuff's happening. Like these agents.
But it's happening not just with him. It's happening everywhere. And he's also a part of the reason why it's happening. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's happening to everybody. I don't think he would tell you it's just happening to Georgia. I think he would agree with you on that. I think he agrees it's on everybody. It's just, no, he's right. There's agents out there, that these phony agents that don't have a clue what they're doing, just controlling the whole market right now. And you can't really be assholes to them because, again, they won't give you the kid. So it's crazy.
Let me ask you this. How would you feel if anybody who works in NIL has to have a law degree and that be brought up with the NCAA, just like an agent? Because the agencies that you look at in the NFL, for you to become an agent, you have to be able to pass the bar. You have to have the basis. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you can have representation with other people. You can have representation with family members. You can. But to truly negotiate deals with an agent, a legit agent in the NFL, you have to be able to have a law degree to be able to get that done.
Yeah.
If you did that with NIL underneath Congress, which this is going through, why would you not have those same ramifications in place?
Dude, I agree. There's a group in the state. There's an agency in the state you live in that a bunch of young 22, 23-year-old hotshots.
I know all of them. I do. And two of them have a law degree.
Some mid-tier players in college, like winnable guys, not like elite guys, but they represent a lot of those guys, and they're kind of know-it-alls from people. I don't talk to them, but people that work in the industry that I talk to from the personnel side to deal with them, yeah, they throw their weight around, and you really just can't be. I was like, why don't you say F off? He's like, well, you really can if you want one of these guys, because then if you do come back and want somebody, they won't take it. But no, they got to fix that. I mean, that is what it is, though. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's first world problems for Kirby Smart, but no. I think the one-time transfer window in December, and I hate it in December because teams are playing for playoff or preparing for playoff spots. But at the same time, when else are you going to do it? It's the only time. But yeah, he's right. I feel bad for basketball. They're recruiting the roster for next year for the 25-26 season. Don't even know if they can be at 13 or 15 scholarships.
The worst part is that other sports are also suffering, but the major ones that we're talking about are also suffering. It's college football, and everyone else is taking a back seat because of what we know with NIL and what's going on when everything is behind closed doors. And we won't have any information at least until Monday. Like the video, hit the ring notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel because we talk college football every single day. As always, with the mailbag episode, if you have a question, a comment, something you want us to answer, put it in the chat. We will jump the line and get to you right away. But since we do have 11 questions, actually 12 questions lined up for today, let's dive on in. First one comes from Sanders Martin. If you were to bank on a player at any position to live up to expectations as one of the best players in the SEC for 2025, who would that be and why? So just one player at any single position that you have to go ahead and bet your life on, this dude is going to hit. Who would that be for you, Dave?
It's going to hit big-time player across from the SEC. Getting cold turkey. Let me.
You want me to go? Because this one's easy for me.
Yeah, you can go. Let me think about
Anthony Hill at Texas. Easily. No questions asked. If I can get the same version of Anthony Hill fully healthy in 2025, that is already the Buckus Award winner at linebacker. That is a first-team All-American. That is the anchor of my defense. Dude had almost 120 tackles last year. Was the backbone of Pete Kwiatkowski's front seven and helped Texas have one of the best units in college football. And he's back. That opens up a lot of plays for Colin Simmons and for Trey Moore off the edge. You are going to replace some talent on the defensive line, so you're going to ask Anthill to step on up. He wears number 0 because if he is an agent of chaos, he just fits that type of role and that moxie, and the dude does not miss. You look at his angles, his pursuits, his visibility, his timing. Like, everything is there for him to be not just one of the best defensive players in college football, but one of the best players in college football. Like, somebody put a prompt out today and they said, who's the number 3 player in the sport right now when it comes to anybody? And it can be anybody, but Caleb Downs was number 1 and Jeremiah Smith was number 2. Who would you have at number 3? And I don't think that Anthill is there, but I at least would have him in that conversation. The way that he plays the game, the way that he is a heat-seeking missile, and how he is able to track the ball and he doesn't miss, I want that dude as the captain of my defense. Absolutely no questions asked.
I'm going to go a random one just because I'm a big offensive lineman guy. I picked Tyler Booker as my player of the year offensively this past year. I'm going to go Jaden Roberts. I think second year under Coach Cap. He's from your neck of the woods, North Shore kid. The interior offensive linemen get overlooked a lot in this league, and I think Alabama's about to have a run of them here after what they've done, at least with Anthony Booker getting drafted. And
you mean Tyler Booker?
Tyler Booker getting drafted, and now Jaden Roberts. I'm gonna go Jaden Roberts. Bama's offensive line's gonna have to step up, and I think he's gonna have to be the leader of this group. Dude, I remember that kid as a young kid coming to middle school and how star-eyed he was. Now I saw an interview with him today. I'm like, dude, this guy's answering like a grown man now. It's amazing how much he's matured.
Would you say that Jake Slaughter belongs in this list as well at the University of Florida, just because of how well he played the center spot last year?
Yeah, potentially as another offensive lineman. I want to see that whole offensive line improve, though.
He was the one dude that I was like, okay, if I was going to go offensive line in the SEC, that would be him. Because if I do think that regardless of what happens with DJ in the offseason, what happens going into next year, his role, his identity is going to carry so much weight and have such an impact for this offense.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case for him, but I mean, until that offensive line improves, he's the leader. I can't give him the nod there. Center, you got to step up. That's been a weak spot of them.
Mark H. writes in, is it time that we start viewing Ole Miss differently as an athletic department now, especially after the signing or re-signing of Chris Beard? So for those of you that don't know, Chris Beard was the favorite to go land the job at Texas A&M. Buzz Williams goes off to College Park. They make a phone call over to Oxford, and Keith Carter's like, whatever they're going to offer you, we're going to match it. Signs a brand new 6-year deal. Lane Kiffin a few years ago was being offered for the job at Auburn. Guess what? Doesn't take it. Leads team to the best season they ever had. Now he is in line almost every single year for a new contract. Mike Bianco, whether or not I believe that Ole Miss is going to win a national championship, they certainly are better than what I expected them to be going into this year. So as an athletic department, Dave, yeah, I think that when you look at Ole Miss at this point, we have got to start viewing them in a more prominent light. I'm not saying they're at Alabama's level. I'm not saying that they're at Georgia's level or Texas's level, but they're retaining names and building cultures. They're winning when it comes to the transfer portal. They're hitting on the recruits. The identity of what we know about Ole Miss sports is completely changing, where that 1 year that was miraculous is now actually a down year. Like the down years are the ones that are miraculous for basketball, for baseball, for football. And I think that has a lot to do with Keith Carter and the way that he has envisioned this program, the way that he believes that Ole Miss should be treated in a certain trajectory of, we are right there as that next team on the outside looking in, and we want to be knocking on that door every single offseason. Hey, don't slow down, because if we're going to be here, we're going to make some noise. I think Ole Miss is still a sleeper for the college football playoff in 2025. I think that Ole Miss baseball, if they continue to play the way they have, they're going to definitely be in the tournament. They're going to be, I think, a team that you have to at least watch for. Chris Beard's going to be there now for the long haul because he signed a 6-year contract. I don't worry about this team anymore, and I don't worry about Ole Miss athletics. Like, they have, I think, a culture and identity to where they're going to get boosters to start buying in a lot more too.
Yeah, I think you're giving the wrong guy credit. It's because I know for a fact Keith Carter did not want to hire Chris Beard.
Okay.
So you give Glenn Boyce, the chancellor. I think he came from Duke, so he's a basketball guy. I think he wants to be good at basketball. So from people I talked to there, Keith Carter wanted nothing to do with this. I think he was kind of, I don't know, the off the court stuff. That's all morale stuff. Call it right, wrong, or indifferent.
Sure.
If you want that, sure. But I think you got to give the chancellor a lot of credit for maintaining. He's an athletics guy. And if your chancellor president isn't into athletics, it's hard to go win big. I mean, so I give him credit there. Yeah, I mean, I still think football. I don't know if like Lane Kiffin's picked out his burial spot in Oxford yet. It's going to be there forever. Lane Kiffin, I think at some point, I would still say will leave. Chris Beard, you're right. I can see him staying there for a while. Bianco, I mean, he's been there. He's going to retire.
He's going to retire there. That's
but Chris Beard is one I could see locking in. Now, if they have another good year next year in North Carolina, Hubert Davis gets fired, that's different. I think that's a little different. I think most Ole Miss fans would be a little acceptable of that. Losing a coach in North Carolina means you're doing good things. But I think for the long haul, yeah, unless it's one of those big-time jobs. I mean, I know he was close to taking Arkansas last year if Hunter Yurchik didn't refuse to put another year on his contract. So he's open, but I think they showed their commitment. He didn't want a pay raise. He just wanted more. I think they're going to be operating north of $7 million in basketball. Ole Miss is here, man, because they got a great coaching staff with Mark Adams. I'm with you. This is the best time. This is the golden era of Ole Miss athletics, so soak it in, folks.
Okay, so like what I mean is the same way that you're talking about Chris Beard is what I mean when it comes to Lane Kiffin. There would have to be a job of all jobs that I think at this point makes him leave. Because if his kids are there, his wife is now there, or his ex-wife's now there, he has built enough collateral to have a couple of bad years and not have to worry about being fired or being
he's not getting fired.
That's the point, is that like he's built a brand new house out there. I think he likes it. But like, let's just say James Franklin eventually gets tired of going 10-2. They get tired of him and they call Oxford, Mississippi, and they're like, do you want to come to Beaver Stadium?
See, I think it would have to be more like a job location where he wants to live too. I think he'd be miserable in state.
Okay. What if it was Oregon?
Maybe. Maybe.
Ohio State. I mean, it's Ohio State. Yeah, right? Like those are jobs.
Columbus is actually cool, so I couldn't.
But those are jobs that like you just throw out and say, as much as I want to be upset that he's leaving us, I get it. Like Washington with Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer would have signed a brand new contract, I think, for almost any job out there. But it's Alabama, it's the script day, it's Titletown, it's being a part of this culture and tradition and this identity. It's different. That's the same thing when it comes to a place like Ole Miss for Chris Beard. When it comes
to North Carolina, no, but I don't think any Ole Miss fan would be mad.
No, and if you are, you're mad because if you're losing a great coach, and I have to hit reset on it, which I completely get. Drew H writes in, what is Georgia's floor in 2025? This is interesting because honestly, at this point, now I'm having some questions about Georgia. I wonder about that left side of the offensive line. I wonder what their second running back is going to look like behind Nate Frazier. I do think that they are a team that still is college football playoff or bust. And I still believe that they should be top 4 in the SEC for the title odds to win the conference championship. But the floor, I think is 9-3. I think if quarterback play is inconsistent, if the offensive line underneath Stacey Shields doesn't get any better, if wide receivers continue to make bad plays, and if the secondary that was kind of hit and miss at times last year takes a step back, they can lose 3 games. Now, what are the 3 is the big question. Is it going to be Texas and Alabama and Florida and down in Jacksonville? Is it going to be against Tennessee? Is it going to be against some random team that you didn't ever expect it to happen? Will they have a Kentucky scare again? Will it be something like that? That's going to be something that I think you got to wonder. But I think the floor is 9-3. I still think that they are going to get to an opportunity to get to 10 wins with the bowl game. But there is a world where they miss the college football playoff. It's a very rare, unheard of world where I cannot believe it would happen. But anything is possible. You have one offensive lineman go down, and you don't have a great backup and plan in place. You're screwed.
9-3 with that schedule, they may miss just because they don't have like a big time non-con. Marshall, Austin P, Tech, and Charlotte. So it doesn't really help them. But yeah, I think it's
you would have to hope that Tech would be. You would have to hope that Tech would be in the running to go to Charlotte. Like then you'd be.
The ACC's open. They bring hands. They certainly could. Yeah, you're right. TBD. But no, I think they got 5 losable games. Barry, you're right. At Tennessee early, Bama and Sanford early. I think at Auburn this year is a potential loss. I'm not ready to say they're gonna lose it, but I'm not sitting here being like automatic win. No, so I think that's 3. Ole Miss at home 4. I think Florida this year 5. Yep. Texas, and then let's just leave it. That's 6 losable. You don't usually go into the season thinking that for Georgia. You're right. This will be the most they've had to replace the youngest team. Because like you mentioned, I liked your point, Bear, with the secondary. A little underwhelming last year. They lost their best 2 guys, kind of the leaders on the back end. Dan
Wait,
Jackson.
okay, hold on. Who was the second one you're talking about? Because I thought
Dan Jackson and Malachi Starks.
Because I thought that KJ Bolden by the end of the year was number 2 and Jackson was number 3.
No, I'm saying they're veteran leaders.
Oh, okay. Not number 2 as overall. Okay.
No, I'm saying they're leaders in the back end is what they lost. Guys to get them lined up. KJ Bolden wasn't getting them lined up last year.
No.
You're right. He got much higher upside than Dan Jackson. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you lost Chaz Chambliss. Say what you want about him, but like you lost guys Stackhouse, Ingram Dawkins. Like they're losing a lot. And like you read anything you hear about the first scrimmage. I know we are a long time from putting toe to leather in a game in September or August next year. Like we are a long time, and they're going to improve. I'd want to get Georgia early in the year this year. I would. So, I mean, it's hard to write them off now. But you're right, Bear. Like I would agree with you. I think 9-3 is a good number there. I have a hard time seeing them losing 4 out of those 6. But you're right.
Yeah.
3. I think 9-3 is the floor, missing the playoffs.
So you said 5 losable games, right?
That's 6.
I mean, you're right. You did say 6. I think 4. I think there's 4. I do agree with you.
What 2 are you taking off?
I would take off Ole Miss right now just because I don't think you're going to lose that game regardless. Austin Simmons is a different quarterback than Jackson Dart. Having 3 years of starting experience, being a guy that has a built-in relationship with a healthy offensive line, with a good wide receiver room, and then you throw in how good that defense was last year and what they're losing.
I would pick Georgia to win the game now, but I don't think it's just a roll the ball game out there and Georgia wins.
To me, until I see Austin Simmons in a real game, I'm going to put like full time, 60 minutes. I would put that as not one. And then honestly, as much as I would say that it should be, I'm going to put Florida right now because of just the way that we've watched them play out in Jacksonville. As much as it does feel like it is a neutral site game and it is a rivalry, it has felt one-sided for a long time. And so until I actually get the ball rolling, we don't know what DJ Lagway is going to be. We don't know what this offense is going to be, how much better this defensive line is going to be that allowed 4.3 rushing yards. So I take those 2 off. I agree with you, though, on Auburn. Like Auburn this year, there's such a wild card because of what are we really going to get from Jackson Arnold? What are we going to get from this offensive line? How much better is this defense going to be with DJ Durkin getting paid not to go to state college? Or to Ohio State? What are we going to get? Like, I'm very intrigued with that Auburn game. I am. It's one of the ones that I didn't think I was going to actually have a lot of hope for. And like now it's like sitting in the back of my brain. It's like, you know, when you hear that song, you don't know how to like what the name is. And like it just bothers you for a little bit. Like that's a game that's like bothering me in the back of my head.
Anytime Georgia and Alabama go there now, it's always a close game, and Auburn's due to win that. Auburn is due to win.
To win one of them.
They haven't won since 17.
They're due to win one of those 2 for sure.
They lost in the same year too.
Jersey writes in, do you think Arch Manning is getting too much hype going into 2025? I like him, but I've seen so many lists that notion him as a top 3 passer with less than 100 pass attempts in his career. I don't think that we need to be putting this much pressure on him. Look at what happened with Nico last season.
Yeah. But are we surprised? Like, I mean, dude, again, like, what was the guy in the Rivals name? Mike Farrell came out there and said that thing. If you change his last name, he'd probably be rated a little differently.
He would still be a 5-star, but would he be?
He was saying that like, people were like, killing him, and I was like, he's right though. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, I know people are like, no, that's not why. It's like, but also in that evaluation, don't you take into the account that his grandfather played in the NFL, his 2 uncles played in the NFL, his dad was a good athlete, like.
Mom was a great athlete.
That's a part of the evaluation. So, yeah, I would pump that. That's part of the evaluation. Like, why wouldn't you use that? People are like offended by that. It's like, no, you're right, Barry. He'd still be a highly ranked kid, but if his name was Cole Thompson, he's probably not the number 1 ranked kid because he didn't play great competition in high school. But no, I mean, I think there's a big drop off at quarterback. I mean, who's the big time? I mean, him, probably the face of the college football at the quarterback spot going into next year. Probably him.
From a persona standpoint, it's him.
Nationally, I think most people will be like,
yeah. From a persona standpoint, it's him.
Then who would you say?
You have a conversation between DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers, Kate Klubnik, and Garrett Nussmeier. That would be right.
You're right. You could make a case for any of those 4, just like the Final Four this weekend. You'd be like, yeah, I can see why you think that. Like, yeah,
I don't have an issue with it. Like, okay. My issue is I've gone back and I've watched the film. I've watched every single play by Arch Manning since the end of the season. If you have him as a top 5 quarterback in college football going into next year, I can buy into it. Because the film says the minute errors are so correctable. Going into year 3 with Steve Sarkisian, AJ Milwee, what he's already learned, how he was able to adjust from when he played against UTSA to when he played against Mississippi State to when he played the following week. Like, I've seen enough to feel confident that he is going to hit. Here's where I have an issue when it comes to saying he has to do all these things and be the X factor and the dude and Mr. QB1 down in Austin for that team that always wants to bench their quarterback and say the quarterback's overrated all the time. This is an unknown wide receiver room right now. This is an unknown offense right now at the personnel position. You lost your top 3 guys. You lost your star tight end. You lost one of your better pass catching running backs. And yeah, Cesar Keyshawn went out and they found the number 1 recruiting class in college football. And I still believe that they will go at it at least one player, whether it be a tight end, whether it be a wide receiver, whether it be as another running back, just to make more to this offense in the spring portal. I fully am invested in that. But I still look and I'm saying, look, listen, he's a good player. He's a great player. But if he ends up throwing into double coverage because a wide receiver is dropping balls left and right and it leads to an interception, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know if people are going to act that way. I don't know if people are going to be excited and be like, no. He's a Manning. Like, he comes from this background of consistency and professionalism and winning mentality. He's got to make every single throw right on point or he's overrated. Like, and that's where I'm at because of every situation is different. You look at the wide receiver room last year at Texas, it was so good. We talked about this when it came to Missouri. You give me Missouri's wide receivers last year with Bo Pabula. Are we talking about Missouri being a 10-2 team that goes
if you already told me what I knew Missouri did last year, and you're like, oh, we were just 9-3 still. Yeah, I was going to take the risk to helping out my new quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Would you take the wide receivers last year and put them in that? Because we don't know. Because DeAndre Moore, is he going to be the very next version of Matthew Golden?
Did Texas make the playoffs last year about those wide receivers? That's the thing. I think it's a different combo than with Missouri.
But what I'm saying is that, like, if you give me those wide receivers with Arch Manning this year, I still think that Texas is in a good spot. They make the college football playoff. They probably win the SEC.
For sure. Yeah, I think Texas would be the hands-down favorite. If they had like 2 of the 3 of those guys back, granted, I know they got their offensive line, defensive line replacements, but they would be probably the favorite to win the league. Right? Again, I was talking to somebody today. I don't know who's going to – there's no hands-down favorite.
There's no favorites.
Bama will probably get a couple. I mean, I see Kirby Smart touting his vote for Alabama early, but probably, Bama may get some. Georgia's off name alone. I think people will buy into your hype with De'Aaron Nussmeier there. I think LSU will get some votes.
I think you'll see a wild card. I think you'll see a South Carolina get a vote. I think you'll see a Tennessee get a couple votes. Like I
gets a vote every year, so somebody, yeah. So it wouldn't shock me if South Carolina.
Well, hold on, change it this year. Change it. I don't think it's gonna be Vandy. I think it'll be Mississippi State or like in Arkansas because they can't do Vandy anymore. Because Vandy,
you're a traditional media guy. I've heard traditional media guys say that pisses them off that someone wastes a vote.
It's annoying. Okay, so here's my rule. If you do that, if you are the person to vote, I don't care. Unveil yourself. Reveal yourself. That's all I want to know. Because it's not going to bother me, but I just want to know.
My opinion on that for traditional journalists has always been like, I mean, it's not like I'm hiding bodies here from where I've murdered.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care.
It's a preseason poll, bro. Like, you can see it's me. I don't care.
Okay, here's the thing. So every single week when the AP Top 25 comes out, guess what they do? They list off who is where, who voted for who. So why not just do the same thing with the SEC votes? I gladly unveil my votes every single year.
Yeah, I guess some people do that too.
For example, who do you think I voted for last year to win the SEC?
I'm going to go Texas Bears.
I went Georgia. I had Georgia winning. I had Georgia beating Ole Miss in the SEC championship game. That was it. I was okay with that. I don't care that people have to know that. But if you're going to vote Vandy or Mississippi State now or Arkansas or Kentucky as like that let's be funny vote, it doesn't bother me. Just be confident enough to not hide behind a ballot and actually show your face. So just so we know. Because it may end up being a dude like from Sports Illustrated. It may be Pat 40.
You hear that, media people? Bears coming for you in Atlanta at SEC Media Days this year. If you do not
tell me who the hell you are, that's all I'm asking for. All right. George B asks, thoughts on the NCAA telling Syracuse and Colorado to shove it with the spring scrimmage? What do you think?
Dude, I'm with Mike Gundy on this. Why not? If I'm Colorado, especially if I'm Deion Sanders, and I have nothing to lose. Even if I'm Coach Brown, I mean, what are you going to do about it. Now, on the other end, from a cost reward, I wouldn't do it because you're spending a ton of money. One of you is traveling to go play. The other, if you're meeting halfway for like 5 days to practice, like that's a lot for a college team to feed that many days. I feel like it's a total waste of money. But from the point of the question, yeah, I agree with Mike Gundy. I would say didn't really ask for your opinion. We're meeting up in Kansas City.
I'm sorry. This is Deion Sanders we're talking about, okay? Deion Sanders, for those of you that don't remember, before he got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, there was a story that said he met with the New York Giants and he met with one other team. And he asked them, hey, where are you guys selecting? Oh, we're picking at number 8. Oh, we're picking at number 11. Yeah, this is a waste of time for you and me. I'm not going to be there. Like, I've never seen somebody have that type of confidence to go in and meet with a GM, an employer that's going to pay him millions of dollars, and then go, don't waste my time. I'm not going to be there. So why is now Deion bending the knee to the NCAA? Because if the dude has never done that before, he doesn't beat him. He literally told media members after beating TCU, do you believe? And then told a media member, oh, I don't want to answer your question. You didn't believe. It's so childish in the way that he acts.
I haven't seen him did he put a statement out after them saying, no, I haven't seen it. I'm asking.
I don't think so. But like what I'm saying is it was so childish with how he acted, but you want to know what? He bets on himself. So why the hell not just do it? And also think about it this way, Dave, how much money they will bring in if a TV deal is willing to sign off on it and mic up him and Fran Brown. And literally we spend 2 days watching a practice that is actually televised. We get them on the sidelines during the middle of the game. It's like an all-star game with MLB. Like you get them actually mic'd on up and we get to hear those type of conversations. Do you know how much money they would bring in? That would pay the fine that the NCAA would shove out to both at Syracuse and to Colorado. Like that alone would pay the fine. And then if you made it a home and home series, do you know how much money you would actually bring into Boulder and Syracuse for people that would travel to that game? And it could be a scrimmage. It literally doesn't have to. It could be like Caden Salter plays a quarter, and then you get Juju Lewis out there. Fans are excited to see what Juju
Lewis.
Lewis.
Different opinions of that. I think with NIL now and the revenue sharing, you can't go waste money like that. You can't. You got to spend it again. I don't think it would bring as much. Is like a fall Saturday that it would bring in the millions that they make a year, like these conferences.
Do you think it would make more than what it makes currently with like 8A?
Yeah, but also you got to think about it, Barry. You got to move 100 dudes. That's 2 planes you're probably about to go take your whole staff for 5 days somewhere for you to go practice and then have a preseason game like they do in the NFL.
What if they did 3 days?
Hotels, what?
What if they did 3 days?
It's still expensive. I mean, dude, traveling a whole football team, expensive as hell. Like it's like I think the ADs and stuff and the revenue sharing big. Do you want players or do you want to have a spring week somewhere? Like I think that's where we're getting at in athletics. I'm with you. I would be for maybe teams that are closer, like UAB, Alabama.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it's been rumored for years that we should be doing like a G5 program or a FCS program, go to play against an SEC school. Do that, pay it out. Make the revenue share, and it works. I mean, and then what you do is you take away that BS game at the end of the month in November, week 13 or whatever it is, and you replace it with the Power 4 opponent, and you end up winning. You still pay them. You get your reps in. You end up bettering your schedule. It's a win in itself. I'm for it, though. I am 100% for Deion doing it. I am 100% for it if Kalen.
I'm just more like, why? I just don't know why they don't do it if they really want it. It's almost like they didn't really want to do it. Because what's stopping you? Again, what is the NCAA? Like Mike Gundy is right. He says some off the wall stuff down, but he really is right. He's like, what are like hand raise guy? Like,
sure.
What are they gonna do about it, fellas? If y'all really want to play this, go. Like that's why it was kind of like, is this just kind of like a media stunt? Because I'm with you, Bear. If you really want to do it,
just do it. Pay the fine. Get over with it. Adam W writes in. And to our friend David Speaks, who has been staying with us, congratulations and thank you for watching the show. We appreciate it. It's about Tennessee. So do you believe the hype coming out of Knoxville surrounding the offense after their recent scrimmage? Travis Smith seems like the real deal at wide receiver and could be a breakout target to help Nico reach his maximum potential in 2025.
I'm not going to go on some long tirade. Most people know how I feel a little bit about Tennessee right now. I think they're in a floor of eight wins, that's what a lot of teams would like to be at. A floor of 8 wins, which I think is phenomenal. I don't think they can get lower than that with hype right now. but I think they're stuck in a little bit of like good program purgatory. I can't come up with an exact term on the fly right now, but something like where it's like they just keep getting stuck because good teams go and win on the road. Good teams take that next step with a redshirt freshman quarterback you're supposed to improve. Like, I know I think they just wasted that defense last year. I'm not believing the hype in the first place. Again, I don't think they're any worse than 8 wins. Again, I think Tennessee is in a much better place than they've ever been. I just think they're in a fork in the road, and like every year I'm saying this, like we're going to find more and more out about Josh Heupel. We do. And I think next year you have some Tennessee people. If we're talking next year, Bear, on April 3rd, 2026, and Nico did not improve.
When we're talking next year on April 3rd.
I think a lot of people will be mad. I'm hesitant. I'm waiting to see it. I want to see him take that next stop, and or that next level of like improvement. I always say this. Alex Golesh, I think, is very critical. They've not been the same offensively since he left. But you're right, Bear. Me and you agree on this. The schedule, very, very manageable. So if they exceed my expectations, I'd expect them to be in the college football playoff. But I'm with you. I still think just off schedule alone, they're going to be in that 9-3 realm.
Do you want me to go ahead and be the nice guy, or do you want me to be mean today? Which one do you want me to do?
I mean, I don't even think I was mean.
You want me to be overzealous, like I always am, apparently, or do you want me to be hardcore?
Hey, you already have the Vols hosting a playoff game this year against.
I do. Yeah, I do. I do. I believe in the hype. I believe in the explosivity of the offense. Here's the main thing. I've heard from multiple people. The freshman wide receivers are going to start. Like, they're going to see reps. They're going to have a big role.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, to go win some games, absolutely. They're going to win games. But to go have another first round early upset in the playoffs or just miss it, like, I don't know. Like, it's like we're waiting on them to kind of take that next step as a program. And I don't know. The road stuff bothers me. And maybe that's just a me thing. Like, I feel like you always have this when you arrive as a program. Like when you bust the door down, like Georgia or Alabama, they go having some epic road win. Like,
sure.
Like, damn, like Alabama 2008.
This is the year they finally beat Florida in the swamp. Like,
and what if fans will say 2022 LSU, and they did win the West. Like, even like, and that game started at 11 a.m. LSU fumbles the first play of the game from the kickoff. Like, I don't know. I'm talking like. They just haven't kicked the door down as a program. Good program, not to that great level yet there.
What I will say is that I have heard that the offense looks more explosive because they don't have a running back like Dylan Sampson to trust anymore. So that's a sign to where I feel confident that Nico is taking that step forward. Here's the deal. They need to find a wide receiver one. If Travis Smith is that dude coming out of high school already, so be it. As long as Nico is taking that step forward, as long as Nico is looking poised and polished, and he knows he's got himself a target that he can trust on third down to move the sticks, I'm okay with it being a freshman. If it ends up being Mike Matthews, it ends up being Mike Matthews. If it ends up being Chris Brazzell, it ends up being Chris Brazzell. If it ends up being Ethan Davis at tight end, it ends up being Ethan Davis. I'm okay with that. What I'm looking at right now when it comes to the future of this team, I want to see that continued growth the way that I did with Joe Milton going into year 2 underneath Josh Heupel. And if I get that from Nico, then I feel good about the defensive depth. I know that they're going to have Boot Carter doing a little bit on both sides. I know Boot Carter is going to be great in the secondary. If Jamad McCoy comes back fully healthy and he plays the way that he did last season, you have 2 dudes that are going to be difference makers in the back end. They still have a good defensive line. It's not as elite as it was last year, but they still have a good defensive line. And I look at that schedule and I say to myself, I can't find 4 losses. I can find 3. I can easily find 3, but I can't find a 4th. If they end up getting to that 9-3 window, it's a failed year for me because I feel like that they should be competing for 10-2. But still, to most people out in Tennessee, when you look at where this team is, where this team has been for years after Philip Fulmer left, you'll take a 9-3 to get to 11-1 the following season. You'll take that. You gladly will.
11-1 though. I mean, it sounds nice.
What happens with Nico? What if Nico takes that step forward?
We're already talking about post Nico.
I'm talking about.
No,
okay,
no, we're not going down that.
I'm not jumping that far ahead. Okay, but what if Nico comes back for another year? What if he is locked in for one more season? So 2026. Wide receivers are awesome. David Sanders looks good at the right side. Zalance Hurd is really good on the left side. Your defense still is great, and your schedule is hard, but you end up proving it. What if you go 11-1, Dave? I'm buying it.
Lottery tomorrow, dog. I'm with you in all reality. Tennessee's schedule makes me still not totally knock them out of playoff contention.
That's the thing. You can't it was like last season when I was
be as good as they can be.
When I was screaming at all of you, Missouri is going to make the college football playoff. It wasn't because I thought Missouri was this elite team. Their schedule was so manageable with veteran talent returning. I thought there's no way that they can't go 9-3, 10-2. Like, I never thought that. What did they do? They went 9-3.
Yeah, that's Tennessee. That's Tennessee this year, I think.
Tennessee this year.
Preseason.
That's Tennessee this year. I'm not ready to go ahead and quit on them. Question number 7 from Mia O. Is it time to be worried about Florida and DJ Lagway? No one seems to know what's actually going on with him as camp closes. And now there's a feeling that the injury is going to linger into the regular season, costing him playing time and potentially a win for Florida in a game they have to secure to guarantee a spot in the college football playoff. Let's start off with this. Florida is a team with that schedule. You do not guarantee a spot in the college football playoff. You don't. You don't. Never, ever do that. I am not ready to put the panic level on when it comes to DJ Lagway just yet. What I will say is now I'm curious. So if you asked me 2 weeks ago, what did I think about this quarterback room and what I thought about DJ Lagway, I would have said, you know what? As long as he's good to go by that LSU game, I'm content. Now I'm curious because according to people that I've spoken to, nobody can pinpoint what's the issue. Is it a chest issue? Is it a core issue? Is it a shoulder issue? Is it something that's going on with his lower body? When did the injury occur? Is he going to have to see a specialist? Is he have to undergo surgery? And so now that worries me because here's the reason, Dave. The longer we prolong not knowing what the issue is, we're also prolonging the results on how to fix it. So now we're going into the summer and he's undergoing surgery. And now he's not going to be ready until the second or third week of camp. Well, you got to build that relationship with those wide receivers. They expect Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson to be difference makers. They're going to get a healthy version of Trey Wilson. They love what they have seen from J. Michael Sturdivant coming on in from UCLA. I talked to somebody today that's very close to the team. They believe that he is going to be that X-factor weapon on the outside, 6'3", and they really do believe that Dallas Wilson is going to play at least 50% of reps next year. So they're all in on what he can provide.
Yeah, I just think loss of reps. I agree with you. I think that's the big key there because, again, he's young, he's talented, but, again, he's young. This isn't like it's a third-year guy sitting out rehabbing. It's been in the program, been around a coordinator. He's played in the league. Again, he hadn't played in a lot of these places he's going to next year. So I think I think it's just a reps thing. Again, still a young guy. He's still improving. So, yeah, you're right. It's a little bit of a concern. Curious. I agree with you, Bear. It's a good word. That's a good word to use. And you look at their backup. I mean, God, I'm looking at their depth right now. Harrison Bailey.
Yeah, it's going to be the Louisville.
God, Harrison Bailey graduated with me in 2008.
I was like, it's him, and he was at Tennessee, and then Louisville, and then somewhere else.
UNLV.
Yeah, and now he's at Florida for like his 18th year.
He was a Jeremy Pruitt kid. It was him and Jarrett Guarantano. God, that wasn't.
That's a name I haven't heard in
I said
a minute,
that name,
bro.
and I was like,
that's a name.
Yeah, I was like,
damn.
Man, I was living in Lawrence, Kansas.
God, that's a name I have not heard in a minute. No, and here's the thing. It's not all on DJ, but the thing is, when I look at DJ, I can't trust this defensive line right now. I want to see it in practice. I want to see it in live reps, and I'm not going to figure it out against Long Island. Like when the Sharks come to the swamp and they're swimming around in that toxic, murky water, it's not going to be something where it's like, oh, that defense, it's drastically changed. We're not going to know until week 3 when they play against LSU. And what if you miss those 2 games and then you have to go travel to Death Valley, and that's going to be either a night game or a 2:30 kick, and that's DJ's first game, and he hasn't built that rapport with the wide receivers, and he hasn't been able to kind of get into the playbook, and that defense has its faults, and you don't have the quarterback that can bail you out. That's where my brain is right now.
Yeah.
And it's
I think they're going to get developed up front of the defensive line. Rodney Garner will get the most out of those dudes. It's just, that was a deep unit last year. I mean, it was a compliment to Josh Heupel and Rodney Garner. Did a phenomenal job there. So, I mean, it's not like I'm bashing Tennessee. They did a good job building that roster last year. Most teams, I think every team, we've seen it with Georgia in today's college football because you can't build depth like you used to. It's just either winnable minus guys or true freshmen having to play to be your depth guys. it's a lot to replace in 1 year. So that's the only reason why I'm down. I mean, you get Rodney Gardner, however long coach keeps going, but like he'll always continue to get the most out of his defensive line room.
He will. And again, I'm not saying that Florida has to be this team that we're worried about going to the college football, but because number one, I didn't have them going to the college football playoff right now because of what their schedule is.
No.
It's a few games that now it's like, hey, I really thought that you were going to have control when you played against Ole Miss. Now I wonder about that. Hey, the LSU game, it feels like one that you could circle as maybe must-see television. Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Dave, I want to get people paid. I want to get paid, so let's go ahead and pay some bills. And we pay those bills by going to FANDUEL.com. This bracket season, FanDuel is letting you make the call. It's almost at the very end, but right now, new customers this weekend for the Final Four can get $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. So lay down $5, win that bet. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets. If you've been waiting to join, now there is no better time. So go ahead and sign on up because there's tournament action this upcoming weekend, and FanDuel is letting you make the amazing type of bets like spreads, totals, game props, and so much more. Some of my favorite lines, Dave, I'm telling you right now, as much as I look at that plus 2.5 for Auburn, I'm still laying it down. I'm believing at minus 2.5 for Florida. I'm also going to say that Houston at plus 5.5 is going to happen. I know that we've been looking at this Duke team like one of the best in the basketball, and they are. But I'm telling you, there's a part of me that just says Houston, Kelvin Sampson, that slow offense, the way they play defense, it's going to be down to the last few shots. I'm taking the plus 5.5. Whatever lines you want to take, whatever bets you want to make, go visit FanDuel.com/SECU. Join in on the college hoops action for the final stage of the tournament when we cut down the nets on Monday night. And hopefully an SEC champion will be crowned the next king of college basketball. Disclaimer: must be 21 and present in select states or 18 and present in D.C. First online real wager money only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering sports online gambling wagering in Kansas under the agreement of Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Jake A. asked us, did you hear Grambling's coach's comments about the buyout for talent from the G5 level to the Power 4 level? What's your thoughts on that? I believe it is the right move. That way you were able to keep the passion alive at the second stage.
In a perfect world, yes. And again, I don't watch soccer. I know it's more of the relegation stuff. Somebody, Bear, maybe you watch soccer, you could explain a little more. I've seen people bring that rule up. Yeah, again, like pay Coastal Carolina's left tackle to come play for Ole Miss, hypothetically. Like they should get paid for. I mean, in theory, that sounds nice. That sounds good. But until we get some real legislation here and what can go down, I mean, think about it. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Like immediately, this kid's trying to go to another school, and they're like, "No, we're not going to pay. They're not going to pay that. They're making somebody pay a buyout for me to transfer. So it's hindering my employment. That would be a loss. I'm sure there's lawyers waiting down the road to do that. I mean, I'm with him in a perfect world. I would like that. It does punish the group of 5 teams. You can be like, why are we going to go bust our ass on the high school trail to go find these under the radar guys who are inevitably going to leave us for more money, which no one blames them. If you're a fan of capitalism. So yeah, in theory, in a perfect world, like a video game world, I'm not opposed to that, but I don't think it's the world we live in. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but I would be for it. And the reason I would be for it is because I am somebody that loves college football. I always will. I don't care if it's SEC. I don't care if it's ACC. I don't care if it's AAC. If there is a college football game on, I'm paying attention to it. I was fully invested in Kennesaw State, a winless program first year at the FBS level, getting upset by Liberty. I was into that. That was something that was on my television screen. My wife wanted to go out to dinner. Guess what? I told her we got to wait to see the end of this upset. She was pissed at me. I'm for it. And I want that to still matter when we get to these super conferences, when it feels like that everyone is down and out of the count except for 8 or 9 teams. So if that's a way to do so where you're paying an NIL fee, just like you're paying a fee to go ahead and break a contract for a head coach, if you're willing to pay that buyout for certain players, or meet the requirements on what they were offered in NIL to offer them a brand new NIL deal and pay back the school, which again, right now it's based off of companies. It's not based off of the school and regulations. I'm for that because if I still want to be excited on a Thursday night when Temple is playing Sam Houston State, when Texas State is playing against JMU, I want to have that on my television screen and believe that the talent that I'm watching is good enough to at least compete for a college football playoff spot. And they're not going to win. They're not going to win the damn thing, but I want to believe that they can. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think that kind of keeps status quo for you, though, Bear. I mean, they're leaving anyways right now. The G5 teams just want to get paid.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that would change it either. I think these teams would pay them for, you know what I mean? So the talent would lesser. I think no matter what, the talent level of the group of five never going back up. There's no way.
No, it's not.
I think at this point it is what it is from that perspective.
Justin M writes in, what's your stance on a one and done coach? Everybody is going after Michael Early as the coach that should be fired after how bad Texas A&M baseball has fallen off. Is there a certain criteria that you follow to fit the narrative or no?
In my opinion, it's got to be worse than the wins losses. It's got to be like you're bleeding out as a culture. Like, it's got to be worse than that. Like, again, I don't know the internal stuff of Michael Early in that program. I mean, it seems like the players like him from them going to bat for him to hire him. So I don't know if it's that. I mean, you remember Alabama having to fire their baseball coach Goff from Louisiana Tech because the players hated him, went to the AD and threatened to transfer. So it was like, and I always heard he was a bad guy. One and done. I mean, woo, you don't see that often.
You rarely see it in the NFL. Why would you see it in college?
You're right. NFL is more like in college. No, because you essentially, I mean, dude, the AD would probably get fired, or unless the guy had some crime he committed and they could fire him. But like, man, dude, you know how much money you'd just be flushing down the drain after? It'd have to be bad. So no, I don't agree with just a one. If it's just wins and losses, no, not you.
Do you remember when they hired Chad Morris to become the head coach at Arkansas? And he lasted
for 2 years.
I say, and he lasted a little less than two years. The writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. They still gave him one more season to figure things out. You would have to sell me on your recruiting is a top 10 class that drops all the way down to like 75th. You're losing players every single year in the transfer portal, proven players, guys that you thought were fully invested into the program. Your wins and losses are staggeringly, shockingly awful. You're not able to retain types of talent. And then also, I think the way that you coach is a big deal. Are you frustrated with your players? Are you losing the locker room's demeanor? Are you getting angry at the media because they're asking hard questions and you don't know how to answer them? Are you lashing out at the athletic director? Like, there have been stories about the way that Tom Herman handled himself with boosters to where immediately after he got to campus, they kind of realized he better win because if his personality is so off-putting, we don't want anything to do with him. And lo and behold, guess what? He went down to FAU. He lasted less than 2 seasons before he was shown the door. It's something about that. Those are the things that I'm looking for. But simply if you're saying, hey, we lost our head coach. He went to a bigger school. We now are finishing 2-10. Like perfect example, Jeff Lebby. Unfortunately, Mike Leach passed away, and Zach Arnett was never really the right guy. Never was.
Add in too, Barry, I keep going back to the revenue sharing. Guys, athletics departments are about to start operating like a business. Like they've been operating in the red forever. Now it's the $20 million revenue share. People aren't just trying to fire coaches and print money, not only for that guy, but his staff too. Like, and then you go pay a new staff. That's millions of dollars you are just flushing that could go to your roster or something else, like another hired person on your staff that can improve your organization. Like, people, I think that's what helped Billy Napier this year. That's what helped him. That's what helped Sam Pittman. Nobody wants to, like, it ain't that bad, folks. Like, let's give him another year. We don't want to just flush money down the drain. People aren't going to be trigger happy to firing coaches like it was back when I was growing up.
I don't even know if Michael Early's going to get fired this year. I don't. Like, I know that people are saying, oh, yeah, he's already out there. I don't know if he is. Because if you're Trev Alberts at this point, I mean, let's be real. Trev Alberts.
Go hire another coach.
Do you even let him hire another coach? Because of how do you feel? I mean, think about it. Ross Bjork was the one to hire. Mike Elko.
Yeah.
He will be the one to hire the next head basketball coach.
Yeah.
So how do we go about that? Early was really only brought in because they had to figure out what was going to be the best game plan for replacing Jim Schlossnagle and not losing this talent. But Michael Early was never the front runner for the job. What it was players wanted to come back to A&M, but only if they had a certain source that they trusted. That was it. Done deal. So do you allow them to make the next hire? Do you allow them to make the next hire? That's going to be a very big question that I wonder, and I'm not even sure. Landon Q writes in, which would you rather have as a college sports fan? Every team outside of football finished top 5 in their rankings, compete for a national championship, but football never wins a title again in your lifetime, or your favorite college football team wins a national title every 5 to 10 years, but every other sport is awful.
Whew. Man.
This is easy for me. This is so easy.
I'm trying to, I have my answer. I'm trying to pair teams. Like who would be, like what teams out there right now would be for that. I'd rather be good from top to bottom so I can enjoy every seasonal. If I was freaking terrible in basketball and baseball, like my winters and springs would be terrible. Like, no, yeah, I would go be good at every sport. It's not being everything school as every program.
But you would never win a national title. Like you may end up going to a playoff one year in football, and then the next year you may go 2-10. You're okay with that?
I'm going to go with consistency, Bear. I think that shows a little more.
College football, all the way. I would rather know that
you're a college guy. I want to be good in basketball and baseball. It'd drive me nuts if my team sucked in both those every year. I'm like, geez, like, it would drive me nuts.
My pedigree would be, look, I'm cool with having a Nick Saban take me to the college football playoff every single year, us end our year in the semifinals, the quarterfinals, or hoisting up the trophy, and then maybe missing out on the. I said bad. I didn't say that you couldn't go to the tournament. I didn't say that you couldn't make it out, make a fun season out of it.
Not bad if I make the tournament.
But okay, you couldn't win a few games. You couldn't get a few upsets. You could still be excited about that.
You're changing it up on me now. You may make a Final Four. Like what?
No. No. I'd rather be like Texas, Rodney Terry fired after losing in the first elimination game, and that became.
Oh yeah, I don't think they were bad. I'm talking like pre-Bruce Pearl Auburn bad is what I have in my head. Right? I'm talking Missouri baseball bad. This year.
Screw it. I'd be fine with that every few years as long as I won a national championship in the process. I would totally be okay with that. Give me tennis as my second best sport, and I would be content with that as long as I'm winning a national title in football. Like I would gladly. Every single time, no question.
That'd drive me nuts if other two teams were good.
Josh S. writes in, you have a chance to take Lenore Sellers or the field as QB1 in the SEC. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take the field. Too many other options again. I think Lenore's is going to improve. I feel better about his development right now over Lagway, with Lagway missing the spring. But yeah, I think Sellers has still got to develop, kind of sinking in that footwork and kind of his cerebral side also to mechanically, because it's a taught thing like a basketball shot, dude, to get those feet in unison, to stay on balance and deliver the ball down the field. I think that's a lot of his stuff was all improvisation last year, which was awesome. He's a first-year starter. He had to survive how you survive, and it was amazing he had that success. If he improves, sky's through the roof. But no, I'm going to take, again, with a lot of question marks going in this league, including with Lenore Sellers, I'd take the other 15 teams.
I have two options here because of, yes, I know, South Carolina homer, love the Gamecocks, love everything about Willie B. Cannot wait to go out to Columbia and visit all you people who love me and have shown me support on this channel. By the way, we have over 700 people watching, so make sure you like the video and hit the ring notification just real quickly. We're not trying to sell you anything. What we're just trying to do is see what you like, see what you hate. That way we know how to give you better content moving forward. I have been abundantly clear on this. It's two guys for me in the SEC. It's Lenore Sellers and it's Garrett Nussmeier. So part of me is saying take the field because of Garrett Nussmeier is higher ranked going into this year at quarterback, but he's one spot higher. There's also a part of me saying Garrett Nussmeier can do some things as a passer that can easily be duplicated by Lenore Sellers. There are things that Lenore Sellers does as a passer that Garrett Nussmeier can't do. There are things that Lenore Sellers possesses that Garrett Nussmeier only dreams of having. It's bold to say, but I would take Lenore Sellers. It feels weird because I still believe that Garrett Nussmeier right now is a better quarterback than LS going into this year. But I'm getting 16 to play in a Mike Shula offense that has already shown that when it works, you have an MVP caliber quarterback.
There's people in Birmingham right now that reckon on Mike Shula.
The Mike Shula offense, they're ready to kill me. There's people in Charlotte right now who are ready to kill me. Like, I already know that there are. But if I'm getting great tight end play, I'm getting a decent wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. I have a stable run game. And I think that you'll have that with the Shul phase on. And all I'm asking is for Lenore Sellers to step on up and be that guy. Be him. Take those necessary steps forward. And what if he improves as a passer? His passer rating goes up from 121 to 178. His completion percentage goes from 61.2 to 65.8. And then you throw in that schedule, and you also throw in his mobility, and you throw in the trajectory of what South Carolina's offense should be. And I'm buying into all that. I already can tell you, head-to-head matchups. Let's call a spade, Dave, real fast. Head-to-head matchups. Garrett Nussmeier was outplayed by Lenore Sellers in week 3. And then Lenore Sellers got hurt, and South Carolina lost.
That was a long time ago, though.
No, I'm just saying. I
agree right now. But I'm saying projecting into next year, it's a long time.
Like I'm saying is, if I'm getting that first half Lenore Sellers against LSU, not like every single week where he doesn't have that fumble, he's running for a touchdown on a 67-yard blast.
Are you going to get that every week? It's a little.
I don't know, but there's a part of me that thinks I am.
Ceiling. I agree with you. He's probably got the highest ceiling. There. My issue with this debate is there's always a quarterback that comes out of nowhere and plays well.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, Sellers last year. That could be Ty Simpson this year. That could be Jackson Arnold. That could be Arch Manning. That could be DJ Lagway all coming out of nowhere. So that's how I'm like, and you factor in like
that could be Austin Simmons. We didn't even throw him into the list.
Could be Austin Simmons.
Connor Stockton.
And you say Jackson Arnold, maybe not as good as Lenore Sellers, but just a tad below him. You add in that Auburn defense. I would probably think Auburn may be a little bit better of a team in that scenario. Because I think South Carolina, dude, Clayton White did a good job last year. They lost a ton on defense.
They did.
I expect them to take a little bit of a drop off. I think Auburn's defense will be better than them. So it's kind of like marrying it all up where I was like, I mean, if Jackson Arnold's just pretty good, Auburn should be pretty good next year. I think Lenore Sellers has to be I think he's got to be even better than what he was last year for South Carolina to replicate what they did last year.
There's a part of me that wishes Taylon Green transferred to Auburn just so he could work with those wide receivers.
He may wish that right now.
There's a part of me that just wishes that simply because of I want to believe in Taylon Green so much. 2 more real fast. Say Brian Kelly gets fired after the 2025 season because of incompetence. Who would be your top phone call if that were to happen to head on down to Baton Rouge? This is from Trent W.
If who? Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly. Who would be your first phone call? I got 2 that I would go with.
Dave's first phone call?
Dave's first phone call.
I mean, right now in college football, dude, I'm always going to shoot my shot with Marcus Freeman. I don't know if he would leave, but I'm going to shoot my shot. Scott Woodward's a big-time press conference winning hire. He'd probably be for it too. And my other guy for LSU, because LSU's got to be a good fit now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to go back at Orr's run. Who's your 2? Let me think of another one.
John Summerall's 1. He's already got ties to the state. He's great defensively. He'd hire the right offensive coordinator. He'd bring in a personnel that I think would work. Most of the staff that he would keep has ties to the state of Louisiana. He's everything that you want in Louisiana. He gets the politics. He gets the culture. He gets what you're talking about. That, to me, is a selling point. John Summerall.
It's a big job.
It's a big job. It is. But maybe that's the thing is that you need to go with the smaller dude and let him figure it out.
I don't hate it. I'm just saying that's my fear. He hadn't been at the big job yet.
Number 2 is the fun one. This is the one that I just would make a phone call to say, screw it. Let's figure it out. I think he's going to double down and there's going to have success in the Big 12 next year. I want Kenny Dillingham. I'm making that phone call. Make Kenny Dillingham and Tempe tell me no.
Then my second one, I go Dan Lanning.
Yeah. Make him tell me no. Because if I want that offense, I want that consistency on the ground. I feel like that I gotta go.
Is it too big? It's too goofy to be the LSU coach. I'll say that.
Who, Dillingham?
Oh yeah,
he is.
Him alive, man. I'm telling you, great football coach, dude. He needs to stay at Arizona State. He's got something going. Like it's
okay.
Fit too, and it took Brian Kelly a long time to realize that. I think that's why they had the year they had last year. Like that's why I'm like. No, Dan Lanning is who I'm calling. I think he's awesome at LSU.
So I called somebody that works out in the Pac-12 area and was there when Kenny got hired, and he has very good ties to Oregon. He told me that Kenny Dillingham will not leave unless it's for an Ohio State job. Like Ohio State, Notre Dame would be probably the
alma mater.
Because and that's the reason. Is because if number 1 is his alma mater, but also, and probably the biggest thing of all, is it's a place where he knows he can win and he can win on the realistic expectations and get paid.
Yeah,
all that. And when you throw all that in together, it makes a lot of sense. But like LSU, there's a part of me that just
Dude,
says,
he'd have Ruffino on his ass every night.
of course he would, and I love it. I would love to see Blake on his ass. It'd be funny as all hell. It'd be the funniest thing to watch. I would love to. I would pay. I would pay for AYS Sports. I would pay for us to get Kenny on and let Blake just go after him and have those two talk in a room for an hour. I would pay.
Like if LSU was doing bad or just in general.
What? No, just because I would love to see them talk. I just think that energy, that spark that you get from Blake, and that spark that you get from Kenny, it would work. Like him and T-Bob would have such a fun conversation. I would want T-Bob to be in charge of the podcast or the coaches show every single week. Him and Kenny Dillingham. Like John Summerall and T-Bob would not mesh, but Kenny Dillingham and T-Bob, that is must-have radio. Like that would be the most listened to show of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was using Ruffino as the LSU. It could be Jacob. It could be Jacob Hester. It could be.
It could be Jacob. It could. Last one comes in from Aggie Dad 791. Is it time to be worried about Texas A&M and their trajectory moving forward?
I mean, what's changed since December? Nothing really to me. Again, I think we still got a couple more months to determine that. Again, A&M, I'm not going to make any kind of decision on until we get to November again. I mean, it's just like.
Oh, I think he means just in general about the sports, like now with
sports. Oh, I thought you meant the football team. I mean, no, you can get it back because you have the green. You can always get it back. I think Mike Elko is still to be determined. I would bet he does have success if I didn't. Again, Michael Early won't be the long-term hire. Whether he gets fired this year or not, won't be. Who you hire in basketball will be big. If it's just like a Chris Mack, you go hire Hoiberger from Nebraska. You shot your shot with Chris Beard, or even if it's Chris Jans. Again, I like Chris Jans. It's just kind of like.
I don't mind the Chris Jans hire if that were to happen.
I mean, I get why some people wouldn't. I don't dislike it, but it's a total ceiling hire. I know it's a ceiling hire. Like, and I like Chris Jans. How he's been on our show last summer. It's a ceiling hire. I don't know. I wouldn't be down on it because again, you have dough, and it's money's as important as it's ever been in college athletics, folks. If you got it, you're always going to have a chance to compete. You're always going to get into the club and have a chance to take home the last remaining girl.
I'm going to say the part that I know a lot of people don't want to hear, but I think it's the reality. I love Trev Alberts as a person. He is a very nice individual. He has been around me, and I've tried to get him on the show before, and he has always been kind whenever we've had conversations. There's a part of me that thinks A&M missed on the athletic director hire.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Because whether or not Jim Schlossnagle was signed on the dotted line to go to Austin, the fact is that the stories that you have heard about how Trev has been all invested in, we want people who want to be at A&M. I want people who want to win. That's what I want. I don't care if they want to be at A&M or if they want to be somewhere else. If they're winning here and I can pay them the money the way the A&M fans talk about it, the way the Aggies are when they say we have enough funds to be able to afford whoever we want and bring in that right talent, then they're going to be happy because you want to know why? They're getting paid. They're getting paid a lot of money. You made the Michael Early hire. Okay, I will give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Whether or not Buzz was going to leave, because if Buzz has this theory, you stay at a school for 6 years, if things don't end up going in the way that you wanted to, you go leave and you hit reset on your career. If that happened, this hire is so important. And the fact is that Ole Miss, a school that has a fraction of the money that you have in terms of boosters, was able to keep him there, was able to make him happy, was able to give him the contract, and he turned you down. You better nail this hire. Because I don't know if I can.
I mean, what's nailing it though, Bear?
Who
do you want?
Going for a guy that currently is not even on the radar, swinging that big, a Lincoln Riley S to USC hire, that level.
Yeah, basketball is different than football though, bro. I don't think people are covering like Nate Oates turned down Kentucky last year.
Right. But what I'm saying is
that's I think Ole Miss is giving him what he wants. I don't blame him for not leaving, honestly.
I don't either.
You got built up job equity, I don't know. Basketball is different than football. I don't think A&M basketball is some phenomenal job.
Okay, humor me. You pay whatever it costs to go get Scott Drew. Would you do it?
No, Scott Drew. No, I wouldn't go empty the bank for him. No, Scott Drew.
What about Todd Golden?
I don't know if I'd empty the bank for him, but I would. Yeah, I'd be fired up if I was an A&M fan if we got him.
What about because he won't do it because of his age? But Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, but I wouldn't empty the bank because I got to pay my roster.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, that's the level of hire
in
I
basketball
want.
now, at that level is going about like $1 million a kid, like the big time, a top 50 kid at least.
But what I'm saying is that if Aggies are so prominently speaking on how they have all the money in the world to bring in whoever the hell they want, you better nail this hire, and money should not be a cost. Money should not be an issue.
Well, I don't think it should. By what they offered Beard and turned him down, money's not an issue. It's just I don't know if a lot of these guys are going to leave. I think they're going to use you as leverage to go to their people and be like, hey, I need more NIL money. At least that's what I would do more so than I need more money.
But then Aggies everywhere should be saying, you know what? We need to go to our people and say we need more money, NIL money to get the right coach. Because if you want to go ahead and see the way that money is being funneled in for Ole Miss and money is being funneled in for Arkansas in basketball and other sports, and you say that money is no issue, then money should be no issue to make sure.
No, I agree. But I think they're just spinning it on football right now. But you're right. You got to adjust your expectations.
Okay, let's just say
football now. Basketball now. Most of these teams, the really good ones, are operating north of 10.
But let's just say the part that really needs to be said right now: A&M in football is probably at best a college football playoff team. A&M in basketball and A&M in baseball.
Here's a better question for you. You think A&M has a better chance to win a national championship in football or basketball? I'd say
basketball. Basketball.
See, I don't
because to me, basketball can be an open competition every single year. Baseball can be an open competition every single year.
Football would definitely be for hell. They almost did it.
But football to me, it feels like, again, it's always going to be Ohio State, Georgia, Texas. I think Michigan's going to be back within about a year. I think you could throw in probably Alabama because of the money that they have, and insert 6 team here. Who is that going to be? Is it going to be Clemson? Is it going to be Penn State? Is it going to be Oregon? Who is it? That's it for most years. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't see a team that goes on a run, a Notre Dame, a Florida, a South Carolina, an Ole Miss, but most years that's going to be it. I think in basketball you can do it. I think in baseball you can do it in College Station. I think
baseball is number one. Basketball, I don't think A&M will ever win a national championship in basketball.
But I just don't see right now a scenario where you are going to watch A&M football win a national championship in the next 5 years. I think you can.
No, I would venture to say both don't win a national title.
I could see a scenario where in basketball you could. I could see a scenario in baseball you could. So my point is, if you know that you can win,
did it last year.
But if you know you can win a national title in those sports and bring finally national prominence to your school, why not spend that money? Why not spend that money there?
But they've been spending it on buyouts.
I know.
But now you're about to get to the 20 mil. It's all going to be, they'll be fine. They'll just have to funnel my stuff through another collective.
I'm not worried about A&M because I still believe A&M is going to be a team that will go 8-4.
You got money, you got a shot.
Yeah. But I think they're going to be an 8-4, 9-3 team in football this year. I think that next year in basketball, they'll make the tournament and maybe they'll be a first or a second round exit. And baseball, who the hell knows? But you have the money. So stop saying you have the money and money is not an issue when money is not an issue because Chris Beard turned you down. Because Chris Beard said, money's not an issue for me here. I just don't want to go to your school. So yeah, I'm a little worried if I'm A&M at this point. A little bit. Not a lot, but I am worried at this point that now I'm going to turn into what Ole Miss is, what South Carolina is, what Missouri is, a program that every 5 or 6 years maybe goes on an epic run in sports.
And I'll say this about Trevor Howard. He did go shoot his shot.
He did.
Ole Miss. And for Chris Beard, at some point you do have to put a ceiling on what you're willing to spend. You probably reached your match. It was, and he just turned you down.
I would love to see what the ceiling is on who they hire next in place of Buzz. That would be it. It would be really interesting to me to see what pathway they go in.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting.
All right, so we have gone over our actual allotted time limit. I still have to drive home. I'm at the office still, so we are not doing the hypothetical of the day. Here's the hypothetical. What hypothetical would you want us to have for next week? And then there's the hypothetical. Leave it in the comment section. He is Dave Shumate. I am Cole Thompson. Like the video, hit the ring notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel because we talk college football every single day. And we do 2 live streams a week. Plus, we do Sunday Fun Day. We do instant reactions. We do other things that are going on. I don't know if we're going to do an actual live stream on Monday for obvious reasons, the national championship. So we may be back next Thursday. We will keep you up to date. And the best way to keep you up to date on those things is by following us on the socials. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Mr. Cole Thompson, at Dave Shumate SEC, at SEC Unfiltered. But for Dave Shumate, I am Cole Thompson. We will see you sometime in the next week or so, Monday, Maybe it's on Thursday, but we will see you. And remember, you only live life once. Don't take it too seriously. We'll talk. Have a beautiful weekend and see you soon.